What's going on, guys? This is Vince with vshred.com, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you the most forgotten rule for building bigger biceps. Alright, so like I said, today's video is going to be all about biceps, and I've made a lot of videos about biceps in the past, and you guys, if you've watched my past videos, you've probably learned a bunch of little minor form tricks here and there about how to just target the muscle a little bit better, how to isolate your long head versus your short head, full range. There's just a bunch of different things that I've talked about. Now, the video that I'm making today, the topic that I'm going to be covering today, is one that I recently thought about because I myself was not doing it, and I noticed that when I started doing it again, it made a huge difference in my bicep workouts and just the pump I saw in the mirror and just the progress that I've been making as far as my arm size go. I'm just going to get right into this. The main thing that people forget about, because what you see is, I'm just going to use preacher curl as the example in this video, is you see him loading up with weight, and you see him just getting that a nice stretch on the bicep head right there, and then you see him curling it up, going back down, curling it up, going back down. What's the issue here? Because you could say, oh, I'm not going slow enough on the way back down, maybe I'm not controlling it as much as I should be. You could say either of those are fine, but that's not it. There's one main issue here, and it's going to be, there's no peak contraction. There was no squeezing out at the top. When you're working any kind of muscle, especially with biceps, because we do like to try to go heavier so that we can build bigger arms and it looks more aesthetically pleasing. So we forget about that squeeze at the top because it's just a lot harder than getting at the bottom half. The top half of a bicep curl is so much harder than the bottom half of the bicep curl. And so naturally we just stray away from it and we don't do it and we forget about it and we just don't see it as that big of an issue. And then when we're not getting our biceps to grow any bigger but we're consistently hitting them, we wonder why. So I'm going to easily relate this to a bicep flex. What happens when you straighten your arm and you flex your bicep? You're gonna see it pop up a little bit, and you're gonna see a little bit of the muscle separation here if you're lean, and then as you bring it closer and closer to closer, you're gonna be shortening this muscle, and right here, you have a little bit more of a pop with your muscle, with your bicep head. And then what you're gonna do is, you're gonna bring your arm even closer and closer and closer and closer, and then when you bring it all the way in, where you cannot bring your forearm any closer to your upper arm, that is when you're gonna have the biggest appearance of that bicep head right there, and it's also when it's going to feel the hardest. That is the exact same thing when you're doing a bicep curl. When you have your arm straight and you're working the bottom half of the exercise, that's great. But once you get up past that half, now you're getting into the peak of the exercise. And if you're not getting into the peak of the exercise, then you're never really going to build that definition. You're never really going to take your muscles to the next level. There's only so much size that you can build when you're only doing half of the full range of motion. So instead of just grabbing this weight, going down and trying to go heavy, you're probably going to want to drop weight a little bit here. Instead of just going from right here, squeezing it up, dropping it back down. Squeezing it up, dropping back down. Trying to go super heavy and get all 10 reps, whatever it might be. Instead of doing that, really focus on that bottom half, squeezing that up, but then once you get past there, make sure that you are focusing on squeezing up as high as you can, getting the most, I guess the strongest contraction with the bicep that you can get, and that's only going to happen by bringing your wrist up as close to your shoulder as possible. And that doesn't mean that when you're on a preacher curl, because what I can do is I can get on a preacher curl, I can slide my butt under, and right here I can just rest. There's nothing going on here as far as bicep activation and stimulation goes. But what I can do is really focus on squeezing my biceps right here, squeezing, and then getting that peak contraction right there, still squeezing without actually just letting the angle take over and gravity just let this weight sit on top of my elbow. I'm focusing on flexing my muscle as hard as I can right there, returning back to starting position. Squeezing it back up, squeezing at the top as hard as I can, returning back to starting position. Going up, squeezing up as hard as I can, going back to starting position. Woo. And what you're gonna find is that even just after, I'll bet one set of you, let's say you're in the middle of a workout, at the beginning of a workout, at the end of the workout, no matter what part of the workout that you're at, if you're guilty of not focusing on that peak contraction all the way up as much as you should be, you're not getting the pump, you're not getting the squeeze, the contraction, you're not getting the results that you would be if you were focusing equally as much effort and energy on the top half from there to there as you are from there to there. So make sure the next time you go to do biceps that you are focusing on the full range of motion, getting that squeeze of your bicep, and it's gonna take your bicep workouts and your bicep exercises and just your biceps to the next level. And also, if you are looking for more help with getting in shape, I know I've said this in past videos, but if you've tried programs in the past and you're skeptical now, don't be. Because the issue is that most of these programs are not catered to what your physique is, what your shape is, what your body type is. And that's why we've created a body type quiz where you answer a couple of questions to help us so that we can help you and we can figure out what your body type is, and we can tell, and basically at the end of this quiz it spits out a video with 3 free tips to tell you what the most important things are to get in shape for the shape that you're currently in and what your goals are. So if you want to check out that free quiz, you can click the link in the description right below this video. Other than that, if you guys like this video, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up. Make sure you're leaving any comments, questions, video recommendations that you guys want me to talk about in the comment section. And then last but not least, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button and also the little notification bell right next to the subscribe button. That way you're actually getting notified when I'm releasing a new video. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.